Okay, well, first of all, happy Tuesday, Christina and Brandon. How are you all today?
Good.
Tuesday. Yeah, we're
Good.
good today. How are you?
I am great. I am great. First of all, congratulations on the new series, Love and Marriage Detroit. And I'm originally from Toledo, so I kind of consider myself Detroit adjacent, right?
Yeah, right around the
Absolutely, absolutely. But the first episode definitely set the tone for, I think people are going to be really excited about this season. I didn't know what to expect because I know Detroit is a lot different than definitely than Huntsville, Alabama, and also DC. So I want to ask you guys, what were your thoughts about, joining the show? Because I'm sure you've seen the other seasons, specifically Love and Marriage Huntsville.
I went into this as a complete newbie. Like, I'm not a reality TV junkie. I don't actually even watch television. So the most that I've seen from like the Huntsville cast is whatever Love and Marriage Huntsville posts on their Instagram page, where they give like pretty hearty clips.
Yeah.
So I kind of went in it with like really fresh, with no real expectation or nothing to compare it to or compare myself to or my personality to.
Okay.
So I know a lot of people are like, you need to watch it before you jump into this. But I don't know. For me, I felt like I wanted to just go in with an open mind and not like expecting to be like anybody else or be like anything I've seen, so that I can just be completely raw and authentic.
Okay. Brandon, what about you? Because you're in the entertainment industry. So I have to assume that you kind of knew what was going on, or you somehow probably heard what was going on some of the other franchises.
No. I don't think we actually watched an episode until we were already signed on. And when
Okay.
we did watch, I think we watched the first Huntsville episode. We was just like,
Go.
what is about to happen on this show?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, I've actually done produced my own kind of like YouTube reality shows before. So
Okay.
I've kind of always wanted to do this, but more or so in the music realm.
Right.
Putting all of my marital bliss and unblissed on display. That was never really in the plan, but we're gonna see what happens.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that, because obviously a big part of the shows, all of them, it's love and marriage. And it definitely, I think there's like a different concept. This franchise in Detroit, you guys are a little bit younger generationally than some of the other, shows. So I think the concept of marriage is different in each location. So for you guys, being a young couple, you've got adorable little ones. What is like your, if you could give us like the definition of like the marriage, the perfect marriage for you all, what are you all striving to do? Are the traditional gender roles the same? Do you guys look at it differently? Because like I said, you are a little bit younger and you probably have a different take on just what marriage should look like. I'll start with you, Christina.
I'm very traditional. My dad's a pastor and my mom's the first lady. Both my grandparents were pastors and first lady. So I just have this very traditional foundation. The man is the lead. The man, goes out and gets the bread. But that part, I'm kind of like, I've always been torn between like being like the stay-at-home mom, like my mom has been, and my grandmothers, and being like this hungry go-getter. Yeah. So there's something that's always pulling me out there, like to be out there and to like do my thing. Yeah. And then there's a part that's like, oh, I want to stay at home with my kids and homeschool them. They're so cute. And so, I just feel like in our marriage, we're kind of like just working on whatever's coming our way. Like, we don't have like the blueprint yet. Like, we're growing together. We have very different upbringings. We saw marriage completely different growing up. So 12 years in, and we're still trying to find like that perfect mesh for what, our marriage can be.
Yeah, 12 years is a good stint, though. That's a good amount of time, especially, to be young and have little ones. Brandon, I want to ask you, because it's interesting whenever I ask women always say they want the man to be traditional, but then they don't necessarily, we want to kind of be modern, and traditional, and yet have him be traditional. Do you think there's a little bit of hypocrisy in the way women look at what they want from marriage?
Yes.
Of course you do.
Because women never know what they want. You know? It's
I
like
have
once
to
they
agree, I
get
have to agree with him. I have to agree with, because and I do the same thing. We want the traditional man, but we want to be a modern / traditional woman. That's kind of weird.
yeah, they just love looking at grass on the other side, you know. Oh, I wanted this. Now that I have this, let me, that was kind of nice too. Oh, you know.
We want it all. We should be able to have it all.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, I thought that marriage was going to be more like I'm Shaq, she's Kobe. But she wanted me to be Phil Jackson. And I didn't know nothing about that yet, so, and then we got married so quick. So it was just like, we basically dated while married. And, I was on the grind and she was in a new city. So it was just a lot of factors that were just causing a lot of turmoil early on. So the perfect marriage for me, I just want us to be on the same page and just click, because we're very opposite. We're very,
Okay.
very
Yeah.
Well, no, okay. So let's go backwards. And knowing you guys are opposite, what was it that, because you said you got married really quickly, what was it about each other? I'll start with you, Brandon, this time. What was it about Kristina that made you jump in, with just feet first, jump in to a marriage? And then I want Kristina, you to answer the same thing, specifically because you guys definitely were raised so differently and there were so many, differences in personality.
I mean, I literally thought she was the coolest person in the world. Like that's what she was when I met her. It was just like, man, you are really like a homie that I could see myself being with for the rest of my life.
Okay.
So it was very fun. All the interactions were very fun. And then day one of marriage, oh, you have to dress like this. And you got to be like, I was just like, hold on. What happened to the homie?
You got married, you got a wife.
Right, you went from Kobe to the general manager.
Kristina, what was it about Brandon? And it's funny he said that, because I've heard the adage where they say men get married and they want the woman to stay exactly the same. Women are looking for the man to change. And it's like, we go into it thinking, oh, when we get married, things are going to change. And he's looking at it like, when we get married, everything is going to stay exactly the same, just as fun, carefree. And we're like, oh no, now it's time for us to really like add some order to this. And it causes a little bit of friction. What was it about his personality, even though it was very different maybe than how you had grown up? What was it that attracted you and made you fall in love with him?
Well, Brandon was very, very, very attentive. Like he was on it. Like he would be calling me constantly. He wanted to sit on Skype all night because we dated long distance.
Okay.
He was constantly BBMing me, and he was sending me flowers and love notes, and he was super romantic and super attentive. And I'm like, wow, this is really refreshing. And it wasn't that I hadn't experienced that before. I think that I was just in a different place. I had just made a vow to God that, I'm celibate. And so, I get married, like I'm not doing any of that. And I would communicate that with men when I dated them. And, they would switch up a little bit, like, oh, I'm not about to get none. Okay. And I respected that. Right. But he stuck in there. Like he was like, I don't care about that. And it just seemed like he was for me. Like he didn't care about anything else. He was for me. And so I prayed about it, and I felt like God gave me the yes to like kind of let my guard down and let him into my space. And so that's what it was that kind of drew me in. He was just really attentive and really for me.
Brandon, so hearing that, because I know you being in the music industry, obviously there are not a lot of people that are practicing celibacy prior to marriage and entertainment, not to say that entertainment is bad, but it's just a little different of a lifestyle. You had to be attracted to the fact that she was very different probably than a lot of the women that you were around.
Yeah, I like that. But that was also big motivation for, why we did it a little fast.
Okay, that's fair.
I wasn't trying to wait forever because, I seen that side booty on Twitter and I needed to explore that. So,
That must have been a hell of a profile pic, Christina, because he saw the side booty and he had to immediately slide into the Twitter DM. And yeah, that was that. Whatever that, we need to post that picture on your profile. Maybe not post it now because you lost.
No, yeah, I don't want to draw any more bees.
Don't draw anymore in. No, but seriously,
it was an episode one. The picture was in episode one.
Oh, I saw it.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I did see it. That was cute though. So let's talk about the show, you guys. I mean, the first episode was definitely like we started, just already locked in with everything. First of all, let's just talk about the group dynamic because it seems like everybody's marriage, even though these marriages have been, have some, you guys have some skin in the game. There's still like a dynamic, like tug of war between the men feeling like, we shouldn't have to answer to the women. And like, it just seems like everybody is kind of dealing with the same dynamic shift or pull. So Christina, what do you think about, I mean, it was just really blatant, like, he should have to check in. Men should be able to get together and go on a trip without telling the women where, like, that's a little strange. But what are your thoughts on the group dynamic and how everyone seems to be kind of trying to figure out what the definitive roles are of the husband and the wife?
I think that I was a little shocked to find out that we all had like kind of the same thing going on in our marriages.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony, I felt like was the ringleader of it. And I've never seen Brandon or heard Brandon like be that adamant about, wearing the pants and, and I'm like, I feel like Anthony's egging him on. And so, I don't know, like it's interesting to me and it's interesting to see it all play out, but I don't know. It's really interesting. I feel like we navigate through it pretty well. I don't feel like any of the women in the cast want to take lead, but I feel like we all want to still have a strong presence in our marriage and not kind of get walked over. Like, y'all gonna do that, we gonna do this, and y'all just gonna accept it. Like, we want to still have a voice. And I know that Anthony in episode 1 speak about, I'm trying to give the men their voice. I'm like, men already have a voice. Like, what?
What Anthony trying to do that for himself or the rest of the men? Brandon, let me ask you, because that scene was interesting with him, with you guys all talking, but then later we saw the scene where you were in the studio working with the artist and you did seem irritated that Christina was like questioning you. Do you feel like, why were you so irritated with her questioning just like from the rip?
Because, I mean, it's like, when you are in the flow, it's like you got a code switch. When you come out of that, you got a code switch. And then I feel like she wasn't just calling to say, hey, because she immediately like, is she working on an album? You don't care if this girl is working on no album. Come on now. If you was calling to say, hey, you'd have been like, hey, babe, just calling, I missed you, just calling it. Nah, she wasn't on that energy. So to me, I was matching her energy. But when I did look back at it on Saturday, I was like, dang, I was a little cold.
Yeah.
I was a little cold, but I was also hiding a secret. So I probably was, I probably just was a little bit, on one that day.
Yeah. I know we got to get out of here, but I'm definitely fascinated. You guys, the first season was great, but I mean, the first episode was great, but I'm wondering, Brandon, coming into a show with the season, with a secret already, like, did you think, okay, maybe I should talk to her about this prior to the camera showing up? Or did you think the cameras there might've made it easier? Because it seems like the history is there. She's already tendered to that situation. Why come into this season with cameras and production with a secret?
I mean, I wasn't even thinking about that. Like that part of my life, it was just like something I was developing. When I'm ready to showcase it to my wife, I want it to look promising. I don't want it to look like, oh, this is just some girl that you trying to. I want it to look like, oh yeah, she's the next one up. So I was just holding on until I felt like she was ready, and but then once them producers found out about it, it was a wrap.
That's how it goes. Well, yeah, like I said, we're definitely going to be tuning in. Let people know when they can check out Love and Marriage Detroit, and let people know what you want them to get from your story this season.
You can check out Love and Marriage Detroit every Saturday evening on OWN, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What you're going to get out of this season is real, raw, authentic marriage, ups and downs, friendships, ups and downs, and how we navigate it. That's what you're going to get. It's really raw, it's really authentic, and it's very relatable.
Brandon? What about from your end? What do you want people to get? What did you get from filming this season?
Well, I had a lot of forced conversations with my wife, which ended up being really good for us.
Okay.
Things that we basically had to talk about. We couldn't run away from it. And so we kind of got closer, and we got a better understanding for, which is who we are and like how we want to coexist, because we can't even lie and say that this thing has been all peaches and cream. It hasn't, but we do love each other. We still together. We just celebrated year 12 yesterday.
Congratulations.
So, y'all can keep tweeting all you want. We still together.
I love it. Well, happy anniversary to you both. Hopefully this will make you stronger and help other people that are watching realize that marriage is worth it. It's not all peaches and cream, but the relationship is worth it. Thank you guys for your openness and your willingness to share your relationship with us.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.